watched in the regular season was not the TLID I saw in that game.
And
Because when TLID are on a back foot, they know exactly what their winning conditions are. So at that moment, they should have known that Bigatron had the better bearings on the objectives.
but by the data, I mean, if I'm not wrong, it's above 50% if they lose on the early game, they will lose the game.
Yeah.
But
Above
that's
50%.
because they're able to mirror movements. They don't walk into the tempo of whoever they're playing against. They know their winning conditions, they know their strengths, and they play towards that. Here, I didn't see that at all. I saw Fabian just really falling into the pattern that Bigatron had set. So let's see if anything changes. Because all of that, it really starts with the drafts, right? So this is the drafting phase, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 3, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE.
Oh.
Okay, there are a lot of changes here. Still the same bans, except for the Eve ban in the first phase. The Jushin gets picked up by TLID. But Bigatron is given the Matilda and the Alpha. What do we think about this?
Well, you got your hands on the Zeus'in. You got that zoning potential as well, again, with the Lantern Flare, but Matilda Alpha is just way too strong on the objective takes. So, Team Liquid ID, they gotta counter this with something that can set up for the neutral takes as well.
Nolan still can work, but they need to steal the XP laner for Super Luke. So maybe Khalid Nolan right now, left Aaron Siki's heroes on the second pick phase.
Yeah. That could work. Maybe got Natasha, Edith still on the cards, but oh, they first pick Nathan in the second phase.
Nathan is
Rather in the
prio.
second pick,
Yeah.
and Cho as well.
Because Joe can go to the back line and Nathan can having his comfortable positioning if they have Joe as the bodyguard of Nathan and Pobius. Matilda, Alpha.
Yeah, the
Very
versatility
nasty.
of the Cho was what allowed them to kind of deny the pick coming in from Key, right? We saw the implosions not landing. We saw the cover that Weedy was able to utilize, and the moments, honestly, that Weedy was also able to create. So that, yeah, they have that playmaking tool, but again, with all this on the board, I think, again, mid-prio is so important. Sure, they have the Cho and the Jushin now, but they need a good jungler as well to facilitate this, considering that Bigatron have both the Matilda and the Alpha. As we take a look at this cross-region data, please.
Yep. So throughout the MPLPHS Season 14 playoffs, Zeus'in has a 100% pick and ban rate with a total of 11 picks and a 54.55% win rate. So yeah, it shows to you how busted Zeus'in is right now, because with the changes, the mini adjustment that she underwent, like, you know, you basically have a lot of mana in return when you spam the Lantern Flare. When it hits the enemies, when you can lift them off, that mana restoration still happens to you, and you have a lot of ways to approach this build. You know, you can go to Sky Piercer to get that burst damage going through. So there's a reason why Zeus'in is either picked or banned.
Especially there's a lot of frontline heroes on this meta. That's why Zeus'in might be a good option.
Yes.
Using the basic common emblem, the Clock of Destiny. So, Zeus'in can airboning the enemies 3 times maximum during the team fights, and it's really important, really annoying. But now no export for TLID, because Pobius and Alpha Nightmare is export.
You wanna stop TLID to get their hands on the X-Borg, because X-Borg does very well against HP-based heroes, and Alpha Phobius are among them, so they ban out the X-Borg, and now Bigatron Alpha, they are looking for a mid laner, and their gold lane no longer prefers picking the Valentina like they did, Colius, and I think that opens up new horizons for them. What's left for the mid lane? Luo Yi is available, and it's going to be very good, but they go for the Lunox.
It's Lunox for Emon. It's still supposed to be.
It's still able to be flexed.
It could be Moreno too, honestly.
It could be Moreno, yeah, because
it depends on the last 2 heroes, but I prefer to use it on Emon's side, because against Nathan it can have on-par matchup on the gold lane. And if he's using on the mid lane, I think it's lack of the mobility, but they have Matilda that can help Lunox to do the rotation.
Yeah.
You know, with the Aurora ban, is this setting up for either an assassin or something like Bane, maybe, for Fabian?
That could be the case because now you don't really have cancellations all around the Land of Dawn when the Aurora is banned out. So maybe the Bane could come out here. And they will go for the Akai and the Bane.
There
yes,
you go.
You called it. You called it, Eterna. They go for the Bane for the chess.
Bane. And Tlid. Oh, there you go. That's a Lunox in the mid lane
Wow.
for Moreno.
Okay.
Eterna is the apprentice of Saint Lucas.
It's my team, man. I love you, St. Lucas. I love you, TLID. If we go down together.
Good pick up for the Clint. It's going to really batter through the front line of Team Liquid ID, and Bigatron Alpha, they have enough front line to cover up for this Clint. But against Natan, the Natan will be bullied
That's why.
because of the range.
It's a good lane.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I want to test is like I'm cursing the teams for today. So I'm gonna choose Bigatron to win this game.
Okay, interesting. What
I
about you?
I don't feel so good at Eterna.
You don't?
I do think a reverse sweep is imminent.
Okay, 2-0 from the panelists. Casters, help us out. Again, we're back at match point.
5 seconds.
Panelist task for Bigatron Alpha, but they're gonna love themselves, TLID, because they brought something special here, Rashi, for game number 4
Welcome.
of TLID versus BTR.
Land of Dawn, here we go. I mean, if you expect Bigatron Alpha not working hard, yeah,
right.
Picture that with a Kodak, man.
Or better yet, make them prove it to us, right? Get a 2-2, take a picture of that with a Kodak. But hey, let's see, man. We'll see if they can turn their negative trend to a positive. You know, they should want us to know that. But we saw earlier, right? What could possibly be in the hands of Team Liquid ID? You need a front line to protect all these vulnerable backline members. I was thinking that, okay, the Bane, we kind of predicted, but the Akai came out of nowhere, man. We thought the Edith might be a solution, but I guess it's the Akai is a lot safer. But with the Mathilda, man, there's a lot of ways for Bigatron Alpha to really burn out a lot of those early game, a lot of those safety tools from the side of Team Liquid ID. Looking at the emblems here, Assassin emblem for the Clint, along with the tenacity. Look at Moreno.
That's a knockup. Let's see, Moreno will fly with the guiding wind to safety.
Man, I'm worried about Bigatron Alpha right now because, first of all, it's a Natan, and we saw what Natan can do against a team that doesn't really have a lot of sieging potential, Rashi.
Exactly, and there's not a lot of seeking potential at all for Bigatron. Maybe just a Clint. But the foot is now on the other shoe though, because you can see the mid lane very difficult when the Sushin is in the picture. Even with the Mathilda, you're gonna be forced to kind of assist your mid laner, not to do anything crazy, just to get them out of the Lantern Flare using the Guiding Wind. And when it comes to frontline, later on, maybe the Alpha and the Phobius can be a terrifying prospect. But for now, in this early game, it's gonna be the Mathilda. So Team Liquid ID have a lot more freedom of movement. And let's look at the neutral objective contest. In theory, they should have a lot more pressure.
That's Moreno, chunked alongside Iran. He needs to be careful. Heavy spin is available though. Now let's see Witty has to go back to Fabian. Quadra Retri. He will find the new.
Oh my God.
Finds the two-man Jet Kundo and will dash away. Never mind. Super Luke is on for blood. 1-for-1. But the turtle goes to the side of TLID.
And Aaron Shiki already cleared the mid lane as well. That's also a value to further the potential of this guy in the late game.
Pursuit. Skill now is trying to get away, get some space. Super Lucas still on this guy, almost a solo. Way of Dragon just to cover. But now Witty will not survive. Bigatron Alpha managed to punish one.
Good back and forth here from both teams. And again, the farming game is where it's at for the jungles, man. Fabian trying to match, but he might have gone too far.
No, that's just a setup. 3v1. That's the Spear of Alpha. The deadly catch will not help him, and he will go down.
Something to worry about as well. Fabian doesn't really seem like a Fabian hero, and also there is no Weedy to bail him out with the Guiding Wind at this point.
It's gonna be the Cho though, so again, it's about the aggression. It's about kind of balancing it out. Now Witty is the one that has to kind of make the big moves happen, where for Fabian, it's all about playing it slow, playing it front to back. And we've seen him play flexible, but I don't know if we've seen him play this flexible at this point. But what's surprising to me is in that EXP lane, the Akai is doing surprisingly well, dude. The max HP damage built into his kit is actually giving the Phobius a run for his money.
Yeah, Never underestimate the early game damage of Akai. He's gonna run you down with the basic attacks, one the passive rocks. And right now in the gold lane, Arashi, it goes as we expected. It's a clean against Nathan.
The bright side, though, for Team Liquid ID is that Iron Shaky can kind of make this a non-lane. Just clear the waves again and again when there is backup available and back out. Pikachu and Alpha are the ones who have to try and find some way to really leverage this Clint pressure. Because the Clint, you know, a big strong side of the Clint is that laning pressure, but now it's not laning, it's the turtle take. Can Team Liquid ID find yet another beneficial, great moment?
For now, Bigatron have more bodies are on, looking for that heavy spin, finds it. The backside Fabian is actually zoned out by Super Luke. Way of Dragon will not make him survive. He falls, but Fabian secures Super Luke. Oh my goodness. Amon finds the double with the cleanse, looking for the triple. Finds it, but he will fall. Yeheskiel with the shutdown.
Oh, it's a 4-3-5 fight. It was doomed right from the get-go for TLID. The bright side though, Aaron Shiki got a full-on gold plating in the bottom lane.
But a 4-on-1 Clint, that is a dangerous hero in the hands of Eman. Again, Bet is going to try and leverage that somehow. You're seeing Team Liquid ID still losing out in the pressure just because of all these fighters, but that won't last for long, right? The tankier Widdy and Aran get, the more damage Aaron, Yeheskiel, and Fabian get, the less they can kind of do this brute force forward maneuvers with Pikachu and Alpha.
Let's see, Fabian. Whoa. 3v1 connection. The catch actually bought him time and he will survive. Super Luke on the other side will not survive. TLID responding.
Good response there with the deadly catch. Making Moreno second guess. Should I go in? Should I not?
Look at that though. Aran just, you know, shows out for a little bit, pressuring Bigatron to allow Fabian to stick around and actually clear that wave. It's moments like that that really doesn't get overshadowed by the big fights. But yes, deadly catch to cancel out the guiding wind. Tower taken on the bottom side. Team Liquid, this is looking like their characteristic somehow comeback nature in the mid lane. In the mid game, sorry.
Team Alpha also has a pretty characteristic as well in this Mathilda, man. If I remember correctly, I believe that right now he has a 100% on a Mathilda throughout the regular season. Let's see if the cavalry can actually break that in the playoffs.
Tall order for sure, but look at this. Oh, Conceal already used up. Moving into the jungle, both teams. Oh!
Richard Jetkindo with the way of Dragon. He is isolated. Man, Bigatron Alpha, they need to find the trade.
That was the most procedural pickoff I've ever seen. Look at that. Even Aran knows that someone is there. And actually, Moreno.
Let's see, Moreno finds the Order of Brilliance to get space, but that is just the neutral objective. Being the main agenda, Amon finds the pressure. But let's see here, Bigatron Alpha still catching strays after minute 4.
Good tracer for both teams, but Widdy, man, he heard us talking and is like, oh, you thought I couldn't do Flashy? I'll show you Flashy. He immediately goes for those pickoffs, but he needs to step up and make the engages happen because Aran and Fabian, they can't really do that, right? They are just all locked in to playing it defensive. But Fabian, though, this is a dangerous move.
Ooh, almost a deja vu there if he got spotted out. But Vivian, he was looking quite beefy with the HP bar, man. So I think right now, he's much more tankier, he's much more safer at this point.
Look at the Yeheskiel though, no Purify just walks up. Is it a trap? Aran spots the rest of the team. Team Liquid, once again, they're doing a great job mitigating Bigatron Alpha's engage potential. In theory, Bigatron are the ones who have the chase, who have the early game burst here with the Clint, with the Alpha, but they're really not getting a lot of value from those picks just yet.
As they move on to the top lane to equalize the turrets. Really, he's already scouted the situation, meanwhile around.
Aran distracting, providing an info, but Yeheskiel in the mid lane is actually vulnerable. Good knockup as Aaron Shiki collects the inner. Fabian with the conceal of Widdy, looking to find one member, but Aran is still too tanky. Super Luke, escape! Oh my goodness! Finds a 3-man heavy spin! And that's the collapse that TLID needed. 2 members taken down.
Prince Aran caught the biggest Alpha members caught off guard there. 3-man pinned down in the mid lane. A place that you never see Akai use usually.
Usually you see the Fabian pop off. We saw Aaron pop off when they're both pressured. Aran steps up to the plate. the playmaker himself, again and again. He has been overshadowed in this match, but right there he shows why he is one of the best, why he is nominated for one of the best EXP laners in Indonesia. With the Lord coming up soon after a play just like that, Big Tron Alpha, they have to be so concerned, so wary of a potential engage again.
That's a foundation for that mid-game. Now with the Way of Dragon spent already, Witty will fall. Retribution goes to Fabian. Calmly done. Yeskiel now isolated in top side. Will Bigatron punish? It seems like Yeskiel will fall. And that's TLID. Finds the heavy spin onto a super loop, but he survives. 2-4-0, but the Lord goes to the hands of the Cavalries.
Good play by Bigatron there to get something at least, not making it a overall win. Even the mid tower actually able to be saved. That damage from the Bane though is ramping up. Aaron! Oof. Fabian secures that purple buff in the midst of that chaos, and they are all gonna be up for the next base defense. But watch that Wishing Lantern. More percentage max AP damage for Moreno. This means that Aran and Fabian and Witty technically are a lot more vulnerable. So with Eman scaling to the late game as well, Team Liquid has to be a bit careful.
They're on the offense now. Mid turret falls. Bigatron Alpha.
Oh!
Positioning. That's the crab claw cannon right there, baby. Bigatron Alpha. Again, they're looking to find a better positioning, better formation, but it seems like they can't.
Super annoying, man. And the range on this Bane is just insanity right now. They might pull the trigger here.
Let's see. Witty will look for the initiation play that they catch to chunk the base turret, but it seems like the First Lord will not do his job. Base turret still stands.
Step by step, brick by brick, Fabian and crew is taking all the mid turrets away. Ooh, look at that. That's too key, by the way, the roamer.
Oh, man.
What a shield too.
These bounces, man. Bigatron Alpha has to be a bit careful about this. Man, Team Liquid, it's only the First Lord, so not taking a base turret at this point is kind of understandable. But look at the damage dealt, it's actually quite equal. Eman, the issue right here is if he can actually, do more damage than Aaron Shiki, then there's no way for Team Liquid to get to him either. But they don't have to do that, right? With the Natan, this is why the Natan pick is just so valuable. I'm just playing it the slow game.
I mean, at this point, they want to pull the trigger in Bigatron Alpha, but no, they're gonna back up with the guiding wind. And to be honest, like they can force out as long as the minion goes into the, the vicinity, the aggro of the tower. They can force out a turret with a heavy spin from Aran. There might be something that Bigatron Alpha is, should be wary of at this point.
Might be a bit too risky for Team Liquid ID's likes though. But look at that info gathering, man. The Lantern Flare quite literally illuminating the rest of the jungle. But Yeskiel, again, no Purify. Playing a hero that's kind of squishy, punishable by all means. Has to be a bit careful. Looking at the rest of the items though, that's a quad armor for Witty. So if Bigatron are relying on a massive spike in damage, a big quick draw coming in from Eman, that damage now is going to be mitigated. So Witty is going to be a bit more slippery. And with 3 seconds to go, the wave is set to the top side. Man, Team Liquid ID has damage to rush this down.
I'm saying, Bigatron Alpha, can they find and penetrate the formation of TLID in this Lord Taker run? And Yeskiel being in the front lines, Witty in the angles. Lord taken by Fabian, but be careful, Ron, very low because on Alpha, they move onwards with Super Loop, charging, finding the kill. Now Super Loop looking for more. Witty is trying to get away. Yeskiel in an awkward angle and Crimson Beacon. Whoa! Dragon, but Moreno secures one. Oh my goodness! Moreno DD finds two, but Fabian finds the trade.
All in all, that might be a winning trade for Bigatron Alpha. They have only 2 members right now, TLID. Can they even make use of this Lord? They have the siege though, with the Natan and the Bane.
Unfortunately for Bigatron Alpha, the Lord is delayed by a wave right there. It's gonna buy time for Team Liquid ID to be on the map. They won't be able to clear it without contest. They've got the advantage there, but man, Team Liquid ID were taking that fight spread apart, not together. In the next fight with the Lord, this is gonna be a 5v5 front to back, just the way Team Liquid ID wants it.
Everyone is catching up. Yeskiel and Witty is already charging towards the bottom lane, looking to further enhance the sieging potential of TLID. The cavalry is trying to run through the robots.
Let's see, they catch early again to chip the turret. Bigatron Alpha will now be able to defend the base here in the bottom side, but they will clear the top side lane. Lord taken care of, but it's just still TLID controlling most of this game, most of the game.
Yeah, the good thing though, Rashi, look at the Lord's position.
On lane.
Yeah, the other side of the map from where the base turret was taken for Team Liquid ID. Moreno, though, showing again that the late game, even though, I mean, the Clint scales well to the late game too, by the way. Just a bit more burst heavy, but with the Lunox as well, if they can't really deal with the dive potential, they can't really get Aaron Shiki and Fabian away from that damage. You're seeing it being quite dangerous, quite literally. But with 60 seconds on the clock here, Team Liquid ID plays the patient game. They set up a net here just to spot out the members of Bigatron if they do make a, surprising, pesky maneuver. But aside from that, they're not even showing on the map. They're kind of pressuring Bigatron to stay in their base by not showing, by just standing there. And that was a sticker by Fabian.
Oh, interesting. I forgot we have stickers. But right now in MPL Indonesia, friendly day 2. Right now, 4K gold lead, even though in the kill department, 9-11, only 2 kills is the differential of both teams. And PTR actually leading on that, so it's quite interesting to see that TLID is up by this much. The economy is favoring them by a lot.
Looking at the farming game here in the player head-to-head, Fabian definitely doing a lot better. And this is the late game where the Bane damage really can't be ignored. For the side of Team Liquid ID, they're also going full glass cannon because Aaron Shiki isn't going for any kind of defensive items. Just the Blood Wings for an extra bit of damage along with the survivability. And now it's the neutral objective game where Team Liquid ID has an abundance of an advantage.
Seems like Bigatron Alpha, they're trying to contest this lore, but Ron says no with the heavy spin. Bigatron Alpha, let's see, will they find round 2 again? Fabian now being the target. Oh, isolated with a crown, just a bait. Is it enough though? Moreno jumps in with the Order of the Brilliance. But now Witty isolates Amon. He goes down. But TLID, they answer back. Now with their mortality pop, Aaron Shiki's in trouble and he will fall. Super Ken shuts him down.
Look at the base.
It's not over just yet. The base though, Fabian recalling.
Seems like TLID, they want more. The minions almost being the game changer, but that's the deadly catch. Let's see, Bigatron Alpha for now still stands, still trying desperately to hold their ground as the base here in the mid lane is looking juicy, but TLID health-wise, they're very low. Fabian being such a constant nuisance, but seems like Bigatron Alpha, they will defend.
Unfortunately, there's no long-range melee dealer there. Aaron Shiki was still alive. It will be a completely different story for TLID right now. My goodness, we have ourselves a game at the 70th minute mark.
Aaron Shiki, man, too aggressive for his own good. Going for the play there, seeing the flow of the fight favor Team Liquid ID, but Bigatron and Alpha find moments of their own. If those waves, though, on the bottom side was slightly more in favor of Team Liquid, that could have been the end of the game. Team Liquid ID were able to delay for so long, and now it's back to the default. And again, I think it really favors Team Liquid here. Because they are the ones with the front to back with all the late game, and they have more solutions to play the textbook style. Bigatron Alpha are the ones who have to do something unpredictable, right? Catch someone off guard, maybe with a huge amount of burst damage coming in from Eman, from Moreno, or maybe Key can bring Super Ken to the back. They are the ones who have to try and be creative right here. Team Liquid have to curb the enthusiasm, quite literally.
Yeah, Super Ken right now being the frontliner. Interesting to see that the jungler itself is the one that's caught out the situation, but Eman is actually on the farthest one there, knowing that there is still Key there.
Aran as well, by the way. 2 components here, Dreadnought Armor and the Steel Leg Plates, not really combining, I believe, into a single item. So he was kind of going for components just to get the extra benefit, right? For the Dreadnought Armor, the lack of the reduction in damage coming in from abilities. That works for Eman as well, by the way, because the Clint isn't really a base attack base type of marksman. So you're seeing creative itemizations coming in from both parties. But once more, for Bigatron, they have to look for one single moment. And Team Liquid ID, with the Cho, with the Akai, there's so many more ways for them to recover from a bad situation. 10 seconds till the next Lord, and the waves technically can be set up by Bigatron.
Calm before the storm. Storm is coming for Big Alpha and also TLID. How do they weather it?
Oh, heavy spin early. Will this be effective? That with a ground top as well. Moreno very low, but that's a Sphere of Alpha. That might change the game. Alpha finds one, but Super Luke will fall. That's no retribution. I repeat, Amon finds the double. No retribution because Alpha. They can and they will fight back.
Does he want to go? No, yes, kill. You don't want to pull the trigger just now. This is the question for Nakai EXP composition. Once the heavy spin is gone, your window is literally closed.
And they use both of their tools to go aggressively there. Nothing's left to try and go defensive. Look at Moreno though.
And he has the flicker. Yes, kill bombs and Moreno is defeating. Moreno, you dirty, dirty boy. And that's Witty taken down. Megatron Alpha wipes TLID to the grave.
We said that the objective control will be immaculate for TLID. But what just happened? Megatron Alpha turned the script. And they might be going the whole way. 30 seconds for all the 3 members of TLID.
2v5, the main wave tier tool not available. Fabian has some damage, has a lot of utility with a heavy spin. Can they do it? 2v5.
This might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, deadly catch. That's the last stand. Iran and Winter Clown to buy time. Megatron stands with 5. Iran taken down. Fabian defends alone. 5 seconds for Yeskiel. Megatron, can they close this game out as Amon? Is there the minions? Not cleared. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to game 5.
Wow! After all that happened in the first 2 games, what just happened? Megatron Alpha is back looking like an actual team again.